This video is about 2006 Toyota Sienna LE. My sister was getting water inside the passenger carpet on the front seat, which we know is a leaking heater core. She said that the leaks got worse whenever she made a left-hand turn, and so that made me immediately think the motor mounts were bad. If I come up here and look, we have one motor mount down there, and we have one upper motor mount here, or torque mount. So watch what happens when I push on the car with my knees. Sorry, I can't push on the car in video. Can you see the motion? That torque arm right there is clearly broken. I don't know if you can see that rip right there or not, but a little bit. So I'm going to replace the torque arm. It's really simple. I'm going to take the ground wires out of the way. I am going to disconnect this bolt and this bolt, slide the new arm in. It's a real simple procedure. Might need a third hand once I get everything squared away, move everything, just to line up the bolt. But it's a real simple procedure to replace. This is the replacement part. You can see basically it's an exact match, just making sure everything lines up correctly. We're going to take off the ground line, 10 millimeter, and the ground line's out of the way. Putting that away. Now we're going to switch to a 14 millimeter, and sorry, I just need to get this here. I might need to get a different wrench for that one. Okay. Sorry, don't need to do that one. Mistake. Okay, loosen the 14 millimeter here. Okay. I'm going to need to get a 14 millimeter wrench on that one. Millimeter wrench. Have another wrench just to give me a little bit of a boost in torque. This is a ratchet wrench, so I don't have to take it off every time it's loose. I could literally take it out with my hands, which I'm going to do. Put this one on here. It's just like a ratchet. That one's loose. Some people call this the upper motor mount, other people call it a power torque strut. Well, it depends on what your manufacturer wants to call it. If you ask for either at the auto parts store, you will get what you need. Okay, getting this out of the way. It's not quite all the way out. I'll have to pull this bolt forward, I think. pressure upward and turning it pulls that bolt out. They're different lengths. This one comes right out. You can see the broken part right here. Clear as a bell, broken right off. Okay. Getting that one back in. So I want to put these back on. One this way, one this way. See how they bow out? Put this back on before it's in place. Finagle this one. Take a little finagling. Make sure that the hole is perfectly lined up. This is engineers for you. All they needed was a 1/16 of an inch more to give you perfect clearance. But could they do that? No. I lifted up on this to get it in the hole. Maybe a 64th is all they needed. But do it, make it easy on everybody? No. Okay, I'm just putting it in finger tight right now. This one may be a little harder to get. I may actually have to move the motor to get this one to line up, but I've got a trick for that. I hope that I won't need a third hand. So hopefully, see, I can move the motor right like that, right? So you can move it around, it lined up. You don't need a third hand. Just shake it around a little with your knees. I always like starting them by hand, that way they don't cross thread. Take your hands off the motor, so you take your body off of this so you can see me shaking the car. Okay, hopefully I got it started. We shall see. I'm not going to put much pressure on it. It feels like it's hand started, but I'm just going to check it. I don't want to cross thread it. As I shake it, it moves. Once it moves, I can thread. So I shake it a little, and I threaded it, and I'm fairly certain I'm not cross-threaded. So now I'll just go back to ratchet wrench. You could do it with a socket if you don't have ratchet wrenches on this one. The upper one is easier to get with the ratchet wrench. I'll check it with this one with a ratchet when I'm done. So just like before, if we join two together, it gives you more torque. Now, I used the 9/16 for that one. This is a metric car. It doesn't matter, right? Any wrench that fits it gives you leverage. Some people put a little piece of pipe over the end. Okay, so now I'm going to just double check this since I have a softer handle to push against. And women don't have the strength that men do. So, I had to switch up. And now, I'm going to whip. That was the sound of the ratchet falling on the ground. Line up the holes. Start this by hand. I may have to even just get in here this way by hand. Get it started. Get this ground line back on. This ground line is really important. Don't ever run a car without a ground line attached to the chassis. I don't know exactly what this is grounding. Could be a whole host of sensors or a bunch of other things. But it's really important to have a ground. Boo, Symphony! Thanks for coming out and saying hi. Hey, what do you have? You have the bee?
Yeah, I made it at daycare.
You made that bee at daycare?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful.
We put black, green, and yellow on
Black, green, and yellow?
and two blue
And two googly eyes?
antennas.
And two antennas. That is fantastic.
But there's not a mouth on it.
There's no mouth? Well,
It needs a mouth.
it needs one? Is that how bees eat, with their mouths? Thanks for sharing with me. You rock.